Hello, hello, hello. We are live. Oh my gosh. Hey, LIB. How you doing, brother?
I was trying to find my way back out of the chat. There we go.
Trapper. How you doing, brother? I thought you fell off the ship, but you're still here. That's good. How you doing, Trapper?
What's up?
Still got that chicken suit right here next to me, ready to go.
Right.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Forgot about that.
Then we got T-Mac. Of course, myself.
Hello.
Hope everyone had a great Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Friday. That's right.
Yeah. We got Derek. We got the cameraman. We have Curtis. We have Billy. How do you say that? Elena?
Elena, yeah.
We
Elena.
got Billy, Lisa, Nancy. Oh, this is a stump jumper. We got, how do you say that one? Jay Spencer. I can barely see it. I think it's JYPSEA. Could be
Yes.
wrong.
Gypsy?
Gypsy, yeah.
I would say Gypsy.
Yeah. Stump jumper, Damien. Ricky. Okay. I think I got it. I think I've seen everybody. Belladonna. All right. I think we got everybody. So, man, I'm going to say something real quick and then stop talking about it. We did a camping trip. Did a camping trip, man. I don't want to go too much into detail. Overnighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A good time.
Oh, it was a good time. It was fruitful. Sally Joe.
That
Sally
Sally
Joe.
Joe is on vacation.
It was fruitful, man. You've got to say it paid off. What do you think, Ted?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I sent you the clip of that. It startled me for this. I mean, we still went out looking for it, but like what happened to me? I thought you guys were messing with me at first, and then you're not, and then something went crashing through the woods after I don't know. I keep having every one of my hikes. I keep having rocks thrown at me.
Yeah.
I'm a rock.
Pat, hello. Caprice. Bob. Yeah, wait till you see that footage. That footage, T-Mac, of you walking up going, I was filming the whole time. My film was always running.
Well, that's why I sent it to you, because you can have yours playing and you can put mine over top of that. So that, I mean, like you guys were sitting there. You're like, what are you talking about? So I'm like, what are you guys throwing rocks at me?
Yeah, it was crazy. Debbie, hello. Thank you all for being here on this Friday night. MT has a premiere going on right now. We kind of mixed up our times. We both changed them, and then I changed mine to, and then we both ended up with the same time slot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I switched mine to earlier in the day so it wouldn't conflict with either of your guys' things. So
Yeah. Belladonna says they're just saying hello when they throw rocks.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sure.
because you know what, man, our base camp was already set up. We already set up camp. So it wasn't like, it wasn't like we were walking around or anything, Me and Mike were at camp, and T-Mac was coming back up to camp, and bam, I mean, they were like, I would say 35 yards away.
Yeah. Wasn't that far. Well, I think there was something closer because the rock whizzed over top of my head just outside of the camp.
Right.
It's usually just at the edge of like the firelight or like where the flashlight range.
Elena, thank you.
Yeah. Well, that's would have been where I was. I was actually, and in my mind, I was trying to process it. I thought maybe they
Lisa,
set up
thank
for it
you.
because I was actually too far away. I was farther away than the rock where they could have, and I actually could see that the rock didn't come from their direction too. But I just was, I don't know. My first thought was like they're messing with me or something.
Right.
But instantly, whatever threw the rock made sure that we knew it wasn't wasn't those two.
Right. Yeah. It was a crazy night. We did try to keep cameras running all night long. It just got to a point where it was raining so hard, the tents started flooding out with water. And I mean, we slept through it. Well, didn't sleep through it, but we worked it out. You know what I'm saying? But there was a point where it was just like, there's an hour a day, till daylight. I'm just going to kill the camera and try to get an hour of sleep.
Jeez.
Yeah, but there was so much going on. I mean, I was, as soon as I zipped the tent up, I swear something pushed a tree over, like probably 20 yards away from camp, like away from my tent. Because me and MT split our tents up to where they were about a good 30 yards apart, 40 yards
at
apart.
least, yes.
So any action that someone would get, it'd be just secluded action. You know what I'm saying? So if they wanted to come over to me, do something, go over to him, do something, so we kept the tents far apart. And he called over to walkie-talkie, like, something just hit the tree outside the tent. He's like, did you hear it? And I was all like, I don't know. I was in the middle of sleeping, just in that hour. And I was like, nope, I didn't hear it. But
well, they messed with MT stuff earlier in the night too, and left all that hair. So,
yeah.
So.
Hello. Love you, Trapper. The test too. Yes. Trapper's awesome. We like Trapper too. Which location were you camping? Well, I don't know if we were just lost.
They took me. I didn't know where the heck I was. I'm like, I don't know where I'm at. And then I went with MT. We went over to a place that he knows where there's an abandoned cemetery. When I went with him, and that was not near where we were camping either. We took a drive, like a half hour away, to go over and video that. And I had no clue where I was. I've never been down there. And then I'm with them. And I don't know where I am. Like, I can't get lost because I have no clue where I am.
Right.
So it's I think I called it on the video, your super secret campsite there. You're kind of like your Fortress of Solitude campsite.
Right. Yeah, wait until you see the video. You'll see what when I say lost camping. Yeah, Belladonna says lost camping.
Yeah. So, yep. I had to put my navigation on to get the heck out of there because I didn't know where I was. I left it I was like a little after 2:30 in the morning when I headed out.
Yeah.
So,
Trapper, here's one for you.
When am I doing a new hiking video? I'm actually trying to go out hiking tomorrow. So if I get out there tomorrow, I will be filming. My son is actually bugging me before he wants to do a hike before he goes back to school. And he says, Dad, you gonna promise me to go tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, I promise. So we are planning a hike tomorrow.
Let's see the weather here.
That's cool that he's into it.
I believe.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's supposed to be beautiful.
Oh, weather's going to be good tomorrow. Cool. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be good.
Yeah. So I
They were saying rain earlier.
I'm planning on doing a hike tomorrow, and I will be filming the hike. It'll be the first time my son will be on video. I don't think I have him on video yet. Any video.
Mm-mm. No, I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
LIB,
and,
what you got going on?
I was in Florida for like a little under a week. Just kind of testing the waters, I guess. But it was so humid and hot and like really thick, and then even at night, like we went into Ocala National Forest one night, and it was just like as soon as you turn on the torch, I mean, bugs is an understatement. Like it's insane. You can't. There's no amount of bug spray. Like you're walking through, it feels like it's raining. That's how like it's just non-stop bugs and like spider webs everywhere. It was really hard to dial in, I'll put it like that. And then we went to like a preserve one day. During the day, it was just too damn hot. And then like, so other than like being on a boat, like when we were on the boat was pretty much the only time I could kind of like focus, but then you're moving anyway. So no matter what you see in the, on the side, you're just kind of passing by it anyway. So it's like, I'd like to go back down, maybe in winter, go back down and try Ocala again. Because we were finding like bear prints, fresh bear prints, like all sorts of stuff. It was as far as like game trails and like there's just stuff going on everywhere. Every 2 feet there was something going on. So it was like it's hard to make out. It's definitely a whole nother world where but it was fun. It was a good time. I'm looking forward to linking up with you guys in the near future.
Yeah, we're talking about
Right.
September.
Right. So,
Yeah.
LIB, something interesting about Ocala, they do have a large population of Rhesus macaques monkeys there that
Oh,
were introduced in the 1930s, and they're like thriving there. And,
Wow.
So that's something is literally there's documented primates there now.
that's crazy.
So a lot of people just don't realize it there, but I think there's 3 different breeds of monkeys that are successfully living in Florida. The most popular one is the Rhesus macaques, and they said they're dangerous. They said,
I didn't realize how big. Ocala's attached to a million other. Like they're separated by us. But
Mhm.
we kind of just name areas, but everything's attached one way or another. But
Mhm.
yeah, I didn't realize how big it was. Like I had no idea.
Huge,
I-
yeah.
I had no idea. At one point we were just driving down a highway road that 2 lane, 1 lane each way. I think it was like Route 19, and like it just goes forever. Like it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Mhm.
Question for you, LIB.
Mm.
During my video, when I was making the video of camping, day watchers made me think. I seen 2 things and got like 4 tree knocks during the day. And it was just me, scoping out the area. Day watchers made me think, sometimes when you're out there during the day, it'll be dead silent, no birds, no nothing.
Mhm.
Other times, like that day, things were going on, but there was bird chirpings,
Mhm.
and now I'm on the fence about, I used to think all the time, if they're around, there'll be no noise, no birds, things will kind of scat and hide. I don't think that's true anymore.
No,
Your thoughts on it?
no, that's not the case. No, it's definitely not the case. If you have, I think when you get that eerie silence, it's something totally different. Like it's like what you think. There's a super predator like around. You know what I mean? Something that everything's afraid of, and that's not necessarily Sasquatch, or maybe every Sasquatch, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. I think that that deafening silence is like when there's it's not necessarily just like what happens every time they're around, and especially when, because they're the best advice I give people is stop separating them from the forest itself. Like, stop looking for Patty, like walking through the woods and being a separate entity. Like, it's you got to get in touch with everything and everything in it, because that's what they are, and that's what they're using, and that's, you know what I mean. They're manipulating and involved in everything, and that's how they move in, say, silence or without being detected. You know what I mean? They're using everything, like everything. So the more in tune you are with it all, the better off you are, in a sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it just made me, I'm like, I'm on the fence now. I was like, there's no way that, all that could be happening. And
Yeah, the wood knocks, I'm on the fence about what they are.
yeah, I'm still on the
I
fence
don't,
like those.
I don't think, I don't know. Some people like to categorize things like and to say, oh, this is why they do it. Like, I don't necessarily think they do it for one reason, because I used to think that they used to count the people that would come in, would come into the forest. They would knock every time a human came in, because I would come in and I would get one. If I was with somebody, I would get two. I would hear like doo doo. I would hear two knocks, and then next thing you know, a minute later, I'd see two hikers. And like, so I was thinking that's what it was. Maybe it is for that spot, and maybe it's not in another. So
Right.
this is why I think it's so important to kind of always keep looking. Always keep looking for answers and expanding. That's my biggest thing, is expanding into different areas and like challenging myself.
Well, you're doing a hell of a job.
I'm still kicking a little bit.
Yeah. Janice says, when are you all going to upload a new hunt video with Trapper 2, Miss Trapper? And of course, love you too. Well, the hunt that I'm working on now is the camping hunt. I put that up first because I got 14 hours of footage to go through. So it will be up probably Monday. That's a lot of footage. 14 hours. You got to go through it, then rewatch it, then upload it, and put it on YouTube. And I mean, that's a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. If you do it, if you're filming through the whole night, it's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of times I just don't even post. Like, I don't even get to it all.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just lose stuff in the because it just, there's too much.
Oh yeah, it's easy to do.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you guys this, because you've done this a lot more than me. Like, I just did a hike in an area, and it was the most peaceful hike I had ever taken at night. Like, I literally felt like I could set up a chair and chill out there. We didn't see not even an animal, nothing. It's just beautiful woods, really beautiful woods. But I don't think I have to still go through some of the thermal imaging, but I don't think there was an animal or anything around. And I'm like wondering, should I post this or not?
It happens when I go out and do it and there's nothing. And I ask Trapper, I probably go out almost every single day.
Yeah.
I'll get nothing. And then I don't post
that's your choice. You know what I mean? Like, I post that, but people enjoy it. Like, whether or not you think you saw something, or you heard or encountered anything, or you think something strange happened, people will still enjoy going on.
I noticed this. I miss a lot. I miss. I think maybe I'm catching 30% of what it is. Everyone else is catching the other 70% of what happens. So it's like, some of the reasons I'll post, I think I should post is because, maybe I missed it, and I had a friend with me, maybe he missed it. The other thing I've noticed too is this thing or whatever is more aggressive when I'm alone than when I have someone with me. On most cases. Well, I mean, when I was with you, I mean, I think you spray the pheromone spray, and I think it drives them crazy. But
Yeah, but your aggression just means interaction, or more interacting with you.
yeah, well, I mean, they
Never
constantly
hurt
are
you
whipping
yet.
rocks.
So
No, they haven't hurt me, but they've whipped rocks at me, and I mean, like lots of them.
me and Trapper had tons of rocks whipped at us when we first started out. You got to remember, you're new, so they're probably testing you. That's what I think the rock throws
They
are.
do. They like to see exactly. They like to see if you scare easy. They test. Yeah, they're literally just seeing what you're like. You know what you do, how you react. You know, one night I was camping at Overlook Mountain in Woodstock, and the guy I was with, he was out of there before the sun. You know, as soon as there was some light, he was gone because it was so crazy. But I forget what we were talking about. I'm like, they're there. I'm like, watch. I'm like, watch this. So I just take an apple and I shock it, right? And you hear it like 3 seconds later hit a tree, and it explodes and it falls, you know, and you hear it fall to the forest floor, and all of a sudden these two rocks come zoom, zoom, and land at our feet, and we're about 5 feet away from each other, and these things got launched in, you know, and
yeah.
In theory, they should have rolled with the, you know, with the amount of like effort they were thrown with. They should have hit the ground and rolled away, but they just stuck right in place, right where I was at.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting.
Stump Jumper asks, do you think day watchers are near their sleeping quarters? I don't think so.
No, they're way off.
Yeah. I think they watch the entrances, the heavy entrances.
That's where,
okay,
that's where I had, in the area that I had that, it's called Camp Pete. I put it out in the video, right at the entrance, and they were throwing, that's where they kept throwing the rocks at me. It followed me, but that's where, yeah. Jeez.
The best places to catch them are at entrances, intersections, like trailheads, things like that. Yeah. Where there's a sign, because it's our human nature to now, no matter what you're doing, if you're walking through the forest, you come to an intersection, now you start thinking about that different trail change and which way you're going to go, or you're looking at the sign. It's a good time when they'll expose themselves, because they know our human nature and that we are distracted in those moments, especially like when you're just getting out of the car or whatever, and you're getting into that, you know, that entry point. They know you're not really, you know, dialed in yet.
Oh yeah. They used to follow me and Trapper out all the way to the cars.
Yeah, well, you got to think about it. When you're on your way out, the closer and closer you get to your vehicle, you're starting to think about, you know, home and whatever, the bathroom and dinner and what, you know, this and that. Your mind starts to wander back out, you know, back out of the forest into that right. Human world, if you will, you know.
Right.
I think it's the same kind of concept anyway.
So my last hike, the one I just put up here today, there's a walking covered bridge that has a tin roof over it to go before you hit the path. I was going to do my intro on that because I thought it was safe, and something hit that tin roof with a rock. And that's literally like the beginning, the entrance to the pathway. I literally got nailed. It startled the heck out of me because I thought that was a safe spot to do an intro.
Uh-oh, we got to test Trapper's mannequin moment. Is he real or not?
Oh, I'm real.
Trapper, go ahead.
I'm real.
Trapper, answer that question. He's real.
I don't know. He's so silent. He's so quiet.
I'm real.
That's why he's good at tracking, because and I'm not. Yeah, because I can't shut up and he can.
Belladonna wants to know, do you think they are super stealthy because they are super quick? No. I don't personally. I think they are just creatures of their environment. I mean, there's mice out there. You only see a mouse once in a while, you know, or I don't know what the other guys think.
I think
they're in tune to their environment.
Yeah, I think they're very in tune to the environment. I also think they have, like a lot of natural predators, they have great camouflage. And and if you're an ambush predator, which I tend to think they are, I'm not an expert. I don't have one in the basement, but if they're an ambush predator, you're going to be very good at moving pretty quiet to get up close to your prey.
Now, before you answer this, LIB, I do want to say, now this answer can go two ways. This question go two ways, because if you believe they're flesh and blood,
Right.
you can give one answer. If you believe they're,
Sure. Well, there's two. Yeah, they're both. So it's like there's answers on both ends of it, right? Both ends of the spectrum. So you're right. It's tough to. It's a fully loaded. Every answer to every question is fully loaded. You know what I mean? And it's tough. It's tough. If they're an energy form and using dimensions and things like that, you might be hearing them and never see them if they want you to, or they could be using the trees, or it boils all the way down to mycelium and all that, or you could just look at physical creatures that blend into their environment, just like natural camouflage, and they adapt over the years and all that, so Elena's been out with me. Hopefully she'll be back. Hopefully she'll be back at the beginning of August, but she's one of the only people that's like roughed it with me during some
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah. Most people skirt out, but she's stood in the pocket like a quarterback with linebackers running at her.
Yeah. That's so cool. You have Joshua. Oh, yeah. I believe they're all over the world, Bruce.
Well, they have reports in the UK and Australia, and it's like, I don't know how you get there. So,
Laser. Yeah, some good questions, y'all. I like it. All right, one coming in for Paul. Are you guys more afraid of bumping into humans?
Yes.
Than animals? Because that would scare me. Oh, yeah.
100. I have a saying on my hikes: the most dangerous thing you're going to run into in the forest are other people.
I've had more trouble with humans than anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Than anything.
Especially people of whatever forest you're going into, and if they may stay in there, camp in there. Me and Trapper found this out. We walked right up on a couple out there eating off the ground with their dog, lady just sitting there eating stuff off the ground.
Poachers is the worst. Poachers is by far the worst thing I come across, because you're hiking in these areas. Me personally, they're not trails. There's nobody around. I'm paving my own trail, and then I'm nowhere near anybody or anything. And then all of a sudden, boom! Like you see this tree stand, and there's a ladder, and then you go up and you see, and there's somebody up there with a rifle, and now it's like, you just caught them doing shit they're not supposed to, and and so it becomes this scenario where you're like, all right, this sucks. Like,
yeah. Me and Trapper walked past a guy out there shooting a squirrel. He's got a gun, We're both like, we're good couple, miles in, and it's just like, he's got a gun. I secretly put my hand in my shirt. Yeah. I know Trapper put his hand on his side. Just humans, because you don't know.
That was kind of freaky that day, because they're actually living out there.
Well, for LIB, it's a little different. His state's like Ohio. We all have guns. I mean, you just kind of assume that's how it is. There for for LIB, that's some different laws there. You know, if
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
has a gun, you could be at a disadvantage if you're someone who just,
Yep.
their laws
Yeah.
are strict on that.
They're very strict. I don't care. I don't carry. It's not worth it. It's not
Yeah.
worth it. It's not worth the trouble of carrying. You know.
Right.
It's really
Well,
not.
you
Well,
were
I mean,
you
the way
were
they are
a
in New
service
York, if they
member.
even think
so.
you're carrying, you could be in, it'll be the law enforcement that'll come after you.
Well, a lot of times I get back, I get back to my vehicle, and because I'm in such weird spots, forest, the forest rangers or whatever they're more like feds than they are anything else. They're like agents.
Mm-hmm.
They're not cops. They're like whatever. I forget what they're called. Forest patrol or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they'll be like snooping, kind of like looking in my vehicle to see if I have like deer stands or rifles or anything, or like they wait for me to come out to see if I'm carrying animals or whatever. Because it's weird. The places I go in, it looks, it's like who the hell would go in there? You know what I mean? But it's
Right.
it's literally for the reasons we go in there, and then when I get out there, I'm just hoping they don't ask me what I was doing, because I'm like, it's not like, oh yeah, I went for a hike through like this horrible terrain, and
I love when they ask me what I'm doing. I'm like, I was waiting for this. You got
Yeah.
YouTube?
So I absolutely, and because of me being, and I'll you guys always see how I always got the camo on and everything, but because of me being prior service, prior law enforcement, I go right up and talk to them, and I've gotten a lot of them to not only open up to me and tell me some creepy, scary stories, but they've given me some good places to go look.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
there's a couple places in Ashtabula County where the sheriffs have told me they don't want anybody to go there because they hate getting calls there. And if somebody goes there, they're going to get a call about it. And because it's active. And so it's like, well, I'm like, oh, well, I got to go there now. So,
Yeah. All right. Did you find what kind of hair was on the glow stick?
Yeah.
Got the hair. MT's got some of the hair.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all seen the short, but we hung a bag. Well, it was the tent bag. It got soaking wet. So we hung it to dry. I put a glow stick on it just for shits and giggles. And we went off. Well, got back. The bag was on the ground, and it was like, huh. Looked at it, hit it with the light, and sure enough, there was hair on the glow stick, like something grabbed it.
well, and not only that, you caught about a little over 7 foot up there, and that tree branch caught it like a glob of hair.
Yeah. And then you over some, and we didn't see it at first, but coming back from collecting some wood, there was a glob of hair. I mean, it must have, I don't know if it was fresh. You'll see it on the video, but there was like some spider web through it. So I don't know if it was old or if this thing that's the path it takes. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of was all like, what's this bag? But you'll see how it all happened on the video. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, I got the hair. I have really no place to send it.
Right.
Honest with you.
Yeah. I don't send my stuff out either.
Yeah.
I'm at the point where I like, if I find what I think is DNA, I hide it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well-
I've been looking at it with the equipment that I have here.
You guys are still in that like searching stage, you know what I mean? Like
you got
I've
years
laid-
into this.
yeah, I've laid eyes on, I don't need nobody to, prove it to me or nothing, like, so I'm just at that point where I'm like I don't want nobody to like find this, and like, so I'll even like bury it, like,
Yeah.
I know it sounds stupid to some people because they're like, why wouldn't you want to prove? I've seen it, I've done it, I've been through it all many, many times. You send that shit off, it goes nowhere. No matter what you do,
Yeah.
you just bring trouble to your doorstep. And I got kids, and
Yeah.
it's not that important to me.
Yeah. After the last testing lab was all like, we're not going to give it back to you, but we don't know what it is. But if you find any more, can you send it?
Right.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Just make sure. Yeah, send more to us. Though.
Excuse me. Yeah, but I think Sue says yes, more aggressive with T-Mac because he's alone. I don't think it's because you're alone. I think it's because you're new and they're just testing you in these areas. But I don't think they'll hurt you. Now there's some crazy stuff out there we ran into. That Gugway that rushed us.
Mm-hmm.
Soon as we put that video out, that guy that just works with Gugways, man, he was all like, "Get a hold of me right now," and we went and talked to him as a group, and
Yeah. He kept warning us about them.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, he
with
wanted
those
us to
encounters
get hold of him right away because he was.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Luckily, we never ran into another one. I don't know what that second thing
Right.
was when me, you, and Storm were out, but that was crazy. Yeah, but I think you'd be all right out there.
I'm thinking the place that we're possibly looking at going. When we link up, it was just weird that you and I both said the same thing, and I've had my eye on it for a while, and
Yeah.
I don't know what's drawing me to it out of everything. There's closer places like that I could go to that are very appealing looking, but there's something drawing me there, and when you mentioned it too, it was just interesting. So,
Do you want me to tell you the truth?
yeah,
Why?
Yeah.
I had a dream last night that we were all there.
really,
Yep. And there was a blue truck that pulled up and said, "I just seen something down here that looked like a Bigfoot and it's coming right towards you all." So we were like, "Oh yeah." So we ran, got back to camp, grabbed some stuff, and we started walking that way. We're all in a line spread out. And then soon as, I don't know whose flashlight it was, but it was like, it's right there. And it was standing there. And I woke up.
oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, we were eating, we even, I know even what we were eating, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Because that's your favorite. That's why every time we go out hiking or somewhere, you got peanut butter jelly sandwiches on
No,
it.
I don't eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I like to give them out while we're out there. Just throw them. Depends on what area we're in now. I'll leave jars out there for them. Not anymore because ain't none of the jar. Not even a deer eat the peanut butter in some spots.
Yeah, I don't know where. I've heard people talk about that all the time. I've only once it looked like something put a finger in, and like that was it. It looked like someone put a finger in, and like that was it. But I can't tell. Like I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
But jars, I see jars out there sometimes that sit there for years, and I'm like, well,
Yeah. It's strange. Even on a trap camera, I'll put the trap cam, and there are more. Animals will come up to the trap cam before, and then look at the peanut butter, smell it, and just be like, eh. Raccoon might come up and dip its hand in it and go, eh.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, when people ask me what the gift, I say, like, whatever feels right, like, more personal, the better. Like, if if you want to get that close. If you don't, then use something generic, I guess. But whatever feels right,
Yeah.
But usually I feel like most people who are going to gift, like, they're trying to get, they're trying to create something, some kind of ongoing relationship.
Right. That's what T-Mac, that's what I would do. I would pick an area and concentrate on going back to that area, gift there, but keep, if you find a spot where you're going to gift, always use that spot.
Right.
But try to gain a relationship with one of these things, instead of splitting it up and going away and then coming back weeks later.
Well,
try to hit that area.
The reason why I do that, though, is people keep, some of my viewers keep telling me, will you please move on to another area? You know, so I'm
Well,
like, well,
That's
It's
not.
about you though.
because there's some areas that I definitely want to like. I'd like to just focus on this area and have the videos here, and I have people just telling me, "We're begging you, please go to a different area." So, like, okay, let me throw some different ones in. So I've been trying to vary up the areas I go because I
Yeah.
would probably stick to like 2 or 3 spots, but I don't know. I guess I don't know. It seems like some of my viewers get tired of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you want to see one,
Yeah.
build a relationship.
Depends what you're trying to do. Like in the beginning, consistency was key for me. I went to the same spots over and over. I wanted to check, well, the results, and I had to know for myself that thing. I was the next. When I left something, I was the next one back in there, and and I was doing the same thing over and over again. I wouldn't say it was popular with people, but it was what I needed to do at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's what me and Trapper did. We had 3 spots in our home area.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
for 2 years, we just hit those spots, gained
Yep.
gained trust with them. And then the kids, and then, it just seemed like they were starting to depend on us with bringing out
Mhm.
food and eating. And, and it was like, okay, it's time to just move on from this area and let these ones grow, move on, and we'll hit it again. And it
Even
seems
when we
like since
stopped-
me and Trapper learned so much, now we can go into an area and it seems like sometimes we'll get interaction and it's great interaction. But
Mhm.
there was a time when we had hit in different areas and it'd be rock throwing us, man. Rock throws, this, that.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's what that's what one of the spots was, literally like 30 rock throws, and I've been back to that area. And when I came back with people, I came back with a person with me, and it was different. They weren't throwing them like right at my feet like they were before. They were waiting till we were 30 yards past them and then throwing a rock, like much
Yeah.
less aggressive.
I'm gonna put Trapper in the spotlight real quick.
Oh my gosh, you in the spotlight.
Trapper, got a question
Okay.
for you, man.
Mhm. Yeah.
When do you
What's
think?
What's your question?
How long did it take them to stop throwing rocks at us? I know we occasionally still get some, but when we used to get bombarded.
When we moved areas. I mean, even though we stayed, because we were even after we stopped gifting, because we tried to stop gifting, and when we stopped gifting, they got aggressive. They got really, really aggressive. Because we stopped gifting. I mean, so it is when we left that area is when they stopped. I don't know what happened if we go back there, because we haven't been back there since. So would they still remember us if we go back? Will we still get the rock throws? I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
What if new ones moved in?
But I remember them throwing rocks all the way up until we left.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have.
I mean,
brought
they
me
used to
some of
throw
those-
rocks at us walking to our vehicles. So,
You guys brought me to some of those areas, and I had rocks thrown at me there. So
mhm.
John says.
that one Jack, that you were the only one video, and the rock landed right next to me.
Oh,
after the three of us turned off our cameras, and you had yours on, and the rock landed right next to me.
Yeah. John says, why can't they be flesh and blood? Why not interdimensional? There's a split. I mean, the Bigfoot community is split. LIB, you could talk about this better than I can. I could just say it is split.
Well, I had my first encounter, and it was flesh and blood. Right? It was something standing physically in front of me. Shipwreck house of a solid humanoid figure, you know, a giant, right? A hairy giant. If I would have stopped there and went, you know, never went back in the woods, I would be in the flesh and blood, right? I would stop there, right? But the more I've gone in and done more and more and more, the more I see that it's more likely that they are an interdimensional, you know, I don't know, species, what you call it, right? But whatever. I feel like we're the only things on the outskirts. Everything else is kind of, you know, connected and knows what's going on and is aware of each other, except we've been led so far away from, you know, what our capabilities are and what we're supposed to do and so on and so forth. So you got to split, and then you got people like me who's a realist and knows that they're pretty much both. There's both ends of the spectrum, and I don't think that we can necessarily put anything in a box, you know. So I don't. It's hard to answer things in a big picture format. You know what I mean? To put a complete label across the board because there's just so much going on, and there's so many different things out there. You know, I think a lot of things get miscategorized. A lot of people will talk themselves out of things. I say it all the time. You could have 5 people stand in a row and a rock gets tossed at you. You all watch the same thing happen, but you'll get 5 different stories. Everyone experienced the same thing, but because of their genetic, you know, their makeup, their background, just the way they are, you know, one will say, oh, that was funny. One will say it was playful. One will be scared, right? One will say they got attacked. So there's a lot that goes into everything. Like there's a lot.
Absolutely. Okay, because I did law enforcement, you know, and it's like you can interview. There'll be 3 witnesses who've seen the same thing happen. And it'll be 3 different stories.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the same thing. So I don't, and whether we say it's flesh and blood or whether it's something else, I mean the bottom line is none of us have one captured here where we can do tests and figure out what the heck it is. We all know it's out there, but just exactly what it is, I mean, that's where we can get into the debate. I mean, I don't even know if it's worth getting in debates on. Let's just get more evidence, I guess, and let's not get hung up on small details. Is it flesh and blood? Is it spiritual? Let's just capture more evidence because it's out there.
Yeah. I enjoyed the experience, you know what I mean? Like for me, it was just a relief that there was more out there. Like there was more to life than the shit I was told and 9 to 5s and traffic and politics, right? And like
Yep.
Like there's actually more to this world. Like it's you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's
That's how I felt.
the fairy
Yes.
tale is not really a fairy tale. Like it's
Mhm.
you know, so in some ways it's good, in some ways it's bad because the nightmare fairy tales are out there too. You know, and
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I just know the government lied to us.
Absolutely.
Freaking lied, man. And
Yes.
it's aliens. We know aliens, ghosts exist, and they're trying to say these things don't and other things don't. And you see it. It's like, man, what else are they hiding? What is in that ocean that they rather go to space than go in the ocean?
Oh yeah, forget about
Crazy.
it. Yeah, I always say it. They don't want us looking down there. They'd rather us look up in space than under the ocean. And
Right.
and when you look at what it takes to go underwater, it's the same thing as a spaceship. A submarine is a spaceship. And then the ones that got to go really, really deep are the less and less people and things you can bring, and you know, the more dangers involved, right? It's the same thing. It's
Right.
identical. But
And that scare tactic that they used when they sent that group down there and they all died.
Mhm.
oh yeah, right.
And now people are like, no, we don't want to go down there. No.
Yeah,
no.
when they when they had a PlayStation controller, I knew it was good. I was like, what is this? Like what is going on here?
Right.
Yeah.
Trapper, this one's for you.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna have to put him in the spotlight.
Which
No,
one
I don't want to be put on the spotlight.
All right, this question's for you.
do you think they're gonna?
Go ahead, read it. I don't got my glasses on. I can't hardly read right now. I go down to get my glasses though.
It says,
Do you think there are pharaoh people where you guys are going on these hunts?
You know, I'm in.
Probably
I'm
means
in,
pharaoh. Maybe pharaoh people.
Pharaoh.
Feral people?
Feral
Okay.
people. I've been watching a lot of videos on feral people. I don't know. I think there might be like a couple places that we go that there's feral people out there. But I don't think not everywhere. I think we ran into a feral person at one point in time. But I don't know. I mean, it could be, but I mean, because we can't. I mean, even Jack, I even told you, I think there was a feral person out there with us at one time. It was just you and I. It was just like it was this year. It was just this year. And I believe that's what's out there. Like Claim 3, let's just throw that out there. You know, I believe maybe there is so many stuff. There's so much stuff going on at Claim 3, stuff that we can't explain. But I do believe that there is a feral person out at Claim 3, and I've told you that before. Just because when I'm tracking something, I can when I'm tracking something, I can usually tell how big the thing is that I'm tracking. You know, even if it's a human being, I can actually tell how big the human being is. If it's a small person, big person, whatever. And I even told you, Jack, when I was tracking that one thing, it was definitely a human that was walking through there, but we were finding footprints without shoes. They were barefoot. Yeah. And I believe that this was in the spring, and it was just got done snowing out there.
Right.
It was cold.
I remember you guys. You at one point were like, I don't know why this guy came back out here. Like he called us in, but then like he came out here and like trampled around or whatever, you know. And like I remember Jack saying something like that, and I was like, and I didn't think nothing of it. But then like later, I was like, shit. I'm like, I wonder if it wasn't, you know, like if it was just something like same makeup, you know, same makeup as him, like same, you know, not something huge, you know. But
and I think that's where your feral people, I mean, I think feral people are a lot like, you know, Bigfoot and Sasquatch and stuff. I think they're a lot like them. You know, I mean, they run around barefoot. If they can't find shoes, they run around barefoot half the time. You know, they're literally living out there. You know, and they're feral. They got different, you know, they look different us because they're literally, that's where they're born and raised, is out in the woods. So that's why I started watching a lot of YouTube videos on feral people to try to understand them just as much as I understand Bigfoot. So yeah. But
yeah, like I said, some of the spots like Claim 3, there's so much going on there. When I seen the footprints, it was like, why would somebody be running around here, that human with cold feet? You know, that would, you know, some of that just didn't make sense. Even in Cuyahoga, when we were springtime, there was those tracks going through the water, and the water was like 28 degrees. Like, why would you, you know, if you were a person living in the woods, you sure in the hell wouldn't be walking through a stream, 28-degree water, through mud, rocks, you know, and continue going. You just wouldn't make it out there. You would have frostbite. Yeah. So,
yeah,
agreed. Yeah,
So I do river walks all the time, and I tell you right now, it beats you up. Like it beats you up, even with water shoes, like and wetsuits. It beats you up, and you get cut, you slip, you fall, you like. There's stuff down there that you can't see. You know, even whatever. You know, it's horrible. It's it's fun. I love it. But I always say, like, if you don't love it, it won't love you back, because like when you're going into these terrains where it's not a trail, like a paved, whatever you want, human game trail, basically, like hiking trails.
Mhm.
It's rough, man. It's rough. And then even up in the Catskills, some of the trails that are trails, they're not necessarily even Adirondacks too. They're not even trails really. It's just like they're just pins on trees, and you follow those pins. It's not like it's not like they can't do anything to the ground to even make it look like a trail. So you kind of, if you lose track of one of those pins on the trees, you're screwed. Everything looks the same.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, we have them around here too. They'll
Yep.
put pins in the trees.
Mhm.
Yep. This one from Derek. What is the best of all time interaction with Cryptid Adventures? I love every time I go out. If you're asking, if I love it all. I mean, every time that there's something new.
Let me ask it. Let me ask it a different way here. Okay, if you're going to be going on, say we're going to be going on like Good Morning America or something big, and they want you to tell one story.
Oh,
I'll tell
I
when
know
me and
the
Trapper
one.
hit the ground.
Exactly. That is the one that I would tell.
Yep. That one always just, it's forefront.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. For you, do you want to answer that too, LIB?
No.
For you?
Oh, come on.
Here we go.
if you're
I got-
picking out like a
I got too
watermark
many.
comment.
I'll answer what I like most about. I don't like to gas myself up. There's enough stories out there if you guys want to dig through. But the one I like about your guys' encounters, I'll say, is that jellyfish thing.
The jelly man.
When that weird thing came towards the red light and then went back. Yeah, I have too many favorites, like too many encounters and stories. Like I've seen enough to. I've been very lucky, I guess. Some might consider it curse, but I've been lucky to see a lot.
Yeah.
LIB, I think my favorite of yours by watching your videos is when you're up in the Catskills.
Yeah.
When you're up by that waterfall.
Yeah. When you just
hike
like
up to
took
that
off
water.
your shoes, you're sitting there, you're
Mhm.
just relaxing.
Listen, I've done that a lot of times.
I think me and Trapper watched that one together, didn't we, or something? I think we watched it
Yeah,
the day
we
you were
probably
here.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Mhm.
Well, I spent I spent all last year doing a waterfall checklist. I still haven't completed them all, but I think I got through like 11 of them or something like that. It was a lot of grueling work to get to some of them.
Yeah. What's your favorite, Ted?
Well, for me, okay, as a kid, I had multiple incidences, which is what got me into this. But coming back, getting into it, like now here after I've retired and everything, so I kind of got two time periods. So the one is the daytime setting. It was the picture I sent to you guys when I first was trying to get myself introduced to you guys. That I ran into something when we were out in the woods. I was out in the woods with a friend, completely not looking for anything like that, and I wasn't even videoing. Like we weren't out there to do that, and ran into something staring at us, and I drew my hole puncher, and we had a 15-minute stare down with me holding my hole puncher at it, telling them, "You better move or I'm going to shoot." And my friend had to like pull my arm down to keep me from shooting it. So that one's where I said, you know what, I need to start videoing this, and I need to go back out looking. And then I started talking to law enforcement officers too. And I did say from that, I went with the Metro Park Ranger, and with him, both of us armed and dressed like park ranger. You could hear law enforcement people, and we were tracked and had stuff thrown at us. That one kind of, I guess, got my attention. That, you know, it's like it's like literally 2 armed law enforcement officers, and they were not intimidated by us. Actually threw a gigantic 13-foot long branch across the ravine at us.
Yeah.
So that would be, that's what got me, and that's what got me video. That's what I got videoing.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Take the hair to
the vet.
To the vet. But to get to the vet, you got to pay like $70. Yeah, I want you to look at my animal. Pull it out of my pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tell
yeah,
me
we're
what the hair
going
is.
to probably have to pay. So, but the short note brought up one where I had the thing scream at me at the Friends of Conneaut Creek one. I kept telling myself, especially after coming with you guys, eventually something's going to scream at me, you know, trying to prepare myself for the reaction for it. And when that still caught me off guard, and I was like, I didn't panic, but I was like, nope, I'm turning around.
Yeah. Yeah, good times. Anybody got any more questions? Let me try to catch up here. Kathy says, hello, everybody. Half human. Hello.
Yeah, Jack, you're kind of like really back there behind.
Yeah. I'm going to speed through here.
Yeah, Eric's been in the Catskills with me. Truth is in the background. He drove from PA to the Catskills once. I forgot about that.
Yeah. They don't mess
I
with
would
the
love to
peanut
go
butter
down.
around here, Bruce. I like I said earlier, I've tried it, and they don't mess with the peanut butter around here. And I tried generic. I tried the good stuff. I tried mixing it with tuna fish. Nothing. Even the animals. You know, some hunters say, you know, take peanut butter out and leave it on a tree. No. Tried it.
I heard, again, it's the peppermint candies, because, you know, a lot of the pest animals aren't going to touch those.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them in my bag. That's one of the things I gifted. Tomatoes make a good gifting. I think we took like 40 tomatoes out. I made a carrot tree once.
Yeah,
Remember
I think sometimes when we gift, we like overabundance. I think we took too much out.
Yep.
Like that one time you made me carry that beef all the way through the woods. We had a bear chase us.
Yeah, they were looking at what they wanted to eat. They were like, do we eat trapper? Do we eat the bag of meat? You know, what are we going to eat?
Yeah.
Look, a bag of meat, carrying a bag of meat.
This is for you, LIB. Hey, Mike, what's your thoughts on high EMS in the forest with no source around?
I've seen it a lot. I still don't know what to make of it. If it's I try to go through the knobs, you know, the weighted magnetic, whatever, and look at the different ones, right?
RF, magnetic.
But as far as radio frequency, I don't see why it would come from like a tree or like, you know, one spot on the ground or whatever, you know, one particular area in the middle of nowhere. I have no idea what makes it do that or why it does that.
Yeah.
You know, I can't say one way or another, but it's cool.
Yeah, I'm stuck on that too. I just did one where I hit all the way up to 80, 90 milligauss. And that's enough to make you sick.
Yeah. I was watching like that show, what was it? Skinwalker Ranch, and they were like running off the hill because of like, you know, the amount. I'm like, like, well, I'm like, I get like double that, and I'm like, digging a hole, like I'm like, what's over here? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, what? You went up there for something, you get it, and then you run away. Like,
Yeah, right. Nope, I'm staying. I'm trying to find a source.
Yeah.
PT says, do you think any of them are bad, or is it just a matter of how you interact? I'll let you guys answer that one.
I think we have. I think they're different. The different, what do you call them, groups or whatever. I think that it's just they're just like us out there. I mean, you got some good ones and you got some bad ones. It all kind of depends what you get when you go out. I think that's how we. And I mean, we experience that, Jack.
Yep.
So I think both on both spectrum. I think there are bad ones out there and there's good ones out there.
It does depend how you
Some of
interact.
them are
too.
just more curious than we are.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Yeah, I think it could depend how you interact as well. Yeah, so definitely both.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's all in your mood also. Like, LIB, you stressed this to me when I first started, and I live by it. You go out there having a bad time, you're all mad, you had a bad day, you go out there, you're going to have a bad time.
It's dangerous. It could be dangerous too, yeah.
Yep. Yep. You definitely want to go in there with good intentions, have a clear mind, focused, and have your intent, tell it your intent. Touch a tree, get some of that energy.
Yes.
I don't know. I've even seen that with just animals. I run into deer. Some deer are real friendly, get up real close to me. Other ones run away. So, I mean, I think it's the same thing with these things, but I think a lot of it is what we experienced that is, someone put it in there, kind of like a toy. There's something for their entertainment. I don't think they look at it as like food, but they like to see how we're going to react.
Yep.
And I think the more passive you are with it, or the more that eventually I think they're going to get bored and go away.
I don't think they'll ever go away.
Well, I mean, move on, but I think, and I think there's some too that, well, like if you don't react to that, then they're going to up the game to try to get you to react.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Curtis says, I have a question. Have found rocks on the ground with fresh leaves underneath them. Do they use rocks to hunt with? I'll leave that up to you all.
I know they throw a lot of them, but I don't know about the hunting thing with it, because I mean, if they wanted to hit me, they definitely could have hit me with the rocks. So they definitely weren't trying to hit me with them. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it was with you guys once, and you said we like interrupted a hunt with some deer when we were by the caves. So I don't know what they would be hunting. I'm not sure what they're hunting with, or if they're just a straight ambush predator.
Well, that's a question that can go both ways again.
Yeah. Well, I've found that they don't really, people always jump on them. They're huge, so they need to eat constantly. And I had to find, it took me a while to figure this out, but it's quite the opposite. They are like able to go without necessarily, they don't need to consume energy the way we do. We eat and drink water, and that's it, really. That's the way we get sustenance and energy. They have ways to pull from different things, so they don't necessarily have to eat as often. Something similar to like a reptile, I guess, like a snake, whatever. Like, there's really nothing to compare it to. At least that's what what I've picked up on. And I know it's not necessarily a popular, point of view, right? Because like the monster sells, and like everyone wants it to rip off a deer's head, and right? Like that's so much cooler. But it's just where things have taken me. So
I agree 100% with you on that. I mean, Like I said,
they-
people think they're flesh and blood. You know, it's cut down the middle. But yeah, monster cells. You're correct.
Yeah. Well, what they had showed me the one time was like I kept finding clams, and I would find like one, or I'd find like hundreds of clam shells, and they were basically showing me like we love this shit, but we could take it or leave it. You know what I mean? Like we could eat this one, or we could eat hundreds. It doesn't. We do it for taste. So I'm assuming there's different levels to this, right? Obviously, now I can't. I don't want to speak across the board and say that they don't. That there isn't a type of Sasquatch that does certain things in a different place. I have no idea. You know,
Yeah.
is there an Alaska killer Bigfoot? I don't know. I've never been there. You know, I've no idea. Whenever I get there, I'll let you know what I think. But you know, at least where I'm at, they seem to be, you know, pretty damn advanced, and you know,
Right. I'm going to let you guys answer this question and let my dog out in the back real quick. This one is question: do Bigfoot and Dogman run together? I will be right back.
they leave us with the
I have not.
I don't have a clue.
Go ahead, Mike.
because I'm not sure if I've run into Dogman or not. I think I've run into Bigfoot or Sasquatch, whatever it is, but I don't know if I've run into Dogman. So
my thought is like there's like community areas like what you'd see like the best way I could describe, I always look for a metaphor or analogy, whatever they're called, but like in Africa, like the watering hole, you'll see every species of animal at that watering hole. Now that zebra and that crocodile and those lions and those monkeys and those giraffes and everything, they don't roll together on a regular basis, but you'll see them in certain areas together because of, you know, source, whatever that case may be, whether it is just water, whether we're going down to portals, you know, however you want to look at it. I think that's where they get kind of seen running together necessarily. Now, you got other people that say Dogman is Bigfoot's pet, and I don't know where they come up with that shit. I don't know, but yeah, that's just my opinion. I'm not sure though.
okay, I guess do you think there's Dogmen in New York and Ohio? Because I don't even know. Are they around?
Yeah, they're pretty much everywhere. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that would be.
I mean,
Where
we've
they
had
were running.
subscribers. Yeah, we've had subscribers pick pictures out of Dogmen in our videos. You know, I
Okay.
don't see them when I'm out there, but you know, they've picked them out of them following us before.
Yeah,
You know.
they're just, it's one of those things that once you see, you can't unsee it. Like, right.
Okay.
Not a big fan, but whatever. They're out there.
UT says, I also think they are probably coming across numerous species of different intelligent beings. Who knows how to hide and just showing up to keep you coming out. Well, I mean, it's keeping certain people coming out,
Mm-hmm.
but not everybody.
No,
That's for sure.
but
Well, that's the story. Is people who see them, they either go back for more answers or they never go back out again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you have lifetime hunters that will just cold turkey cut it off. Forget it. I'm done. There's a case
Yeah.
where this woman was living by herself or whatever. I don't know if she had kids or whatever. It's not a story I heard directly, but I heard a long time ago. She went straight to the city. Like, I mean, she abandoned ship, sold her house, was gone within a couple days, was gone, you know, and just didn't want nothing to do with a tree or, you know, forest or nothing. And, you know, some people like myself want to get, you know, I want to get as close to it as possible. I want to be immersed in it all the time. And, you know,
Yeah. Truth says, one more thing. I also believe they can appear different to everyone at times. believe so.
Shape shifting to an extent, yeah.
Yeah. Depends on what side of the fence you're on. Like I said, the Bigfoot community is split down the middle.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I guess I don't even want to get into like it seems like too they're not only split, they're like I mean pretty confrontational, argumentative over their positions. And
Absolutely.
I'm open. I don't know what it is. Let's just investigate and figure it out.
That's the best way to be. You don't want to get crucified for saying one thing. It's just, God forbid. It's like it's the end of the world.
Well, I think this too is you listen to people, and if you start getting different people in different times and everything or places, and they're saying the same story, well, then that means that would be as an investigator, law enforcement side, there must be truth to this story, so that's kind of the way I'd look at it. It's just, but so you just investigating.
Yeah. Barrel people don't leave 15-inch foot tracks. No, they don't.
That is true.
This one for you, Trapper.
What is it?
It's for Trapper. Read it out loud, Trap.
I'm trying to read it. I don't have my glasses. I really.
Trap could always sit on a log and have a discussion with his Bigfoot friend in order to get all answers, like he did
like
before.
I did before. Yeah, I don't. But Stump Jumper, I don't remember much of that night. Jack has a story.
Thank you, Curtis. Truth. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Truth.
Thank you. Gonna check out the thermal soon, T-Mac.
Yeah, I got the video up. The thermal, I know. I kind of skim over it, and I literally, I'm like, I got to
Thank
change
you,
up
Belladonna.
a lot of stuff. It's there in the thermal, and I, in real time, seem to miss it.
I don't have no attachments at this time. Sue asked, does anyone have any attachments at the moment? We're all clear. I think I'm good. I think I have one living out back. Because, you know, that's how it goes. My dog's always at night. Something growls at my dogs, and my dogs growl back. How y'all? You guys got any attachments? You all good?
Yeah.
Deer that comes up into our backyard, but no.
Yes,
Yeah.
Curtis, that was a good one too. The white Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The white
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just happy I get to, I'm able to contribute things like that. Like,
Yeah. T-Mac, that scream from down the stairs.
Yep, that was the Friends of Cognac Creek, where you guys come up to investigate, and yeah, that literally that definitely changed some things, because I was actually not doing my hikes to go out to look for anything like that until that day. Said I'm trying to document some of the wildlife, and and literally that day kind of changed it, where it's like, okay, well, now I'm going to start to add that into the description.
Yeah. Belladonna says, Jack, do you think what happened when you and Trapper were out on the last hunt and you guys had kind of a time sleep happen? Well, yeah, where we lost our time, where we started out and then we ended right back at the front at Claim 3.
Oh,
you remember
yeah.
that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
That was crazy. I don't know if you've seen that, LIV or C-Mac, but we were walking. We started off here. We started walking straight, kept walking straight, and came right back to the beginning.
mm-hmm.
And we were like,
We don't know how we got there.
I got stuck in a situation like that. I think I've talked to you guys about it, where I had to get in the water. I had to I had to
Yeah.
jump in the water I couldn't get out of it.
Yeah, it's like a time loop.
Yeah, no matter which way I went, it was the same thing over and over again.
That's scary. That's
It
scary.
was very scary. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. I was visibly, I'm sure I was tearing too. Like I was freaking out.
Why don't you go ahead and tell the story so some of these people know what you're talking about?
Yeah, it was on this like long hike, really early in the morning. I started at this place in the Catskills, and I didn't know how far. I didn't have a clue. I could see the end of the lake or what it looks like, right? And I figured that's where you go around the lake, and I was gonna go around the back. I was just whatever, just hiking. So I'm making my videos, and I'm not realizing how much time's going by. But at the end of the lake, there's like this huge like gap, like basically. So you have to go miles down and then miles to come around, and then you hit the other side of the lake. And I was probably 8 miles in, and I can't. I'm figuring by now I'm gonna be around the whole lake and back to the beginning, but it doesn't do that. So I'm like freaking out. I don't have water with me, and nothing. I'm basically out of everything, and it's starting to heat up, and like I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna turn around and find my way back. So I do. I turn around and I start walking, and I'm like, all right, this doesn't seem right. I'm like, wow, let me go back over here, and like, I think I just went back, and I was like, oh, what the hell? This doesn't feel right either. And this is when I noticed that I was seeing the same thing. So I went back again, and I'm seeing the same thing again. So every 100 feet or so, let's say, and I'm not seeing it in reverse. I'm not seeing the backside of it. So as I'm going this way down the trail, and I'm seeing the same thing, I turn around another 360, go the other way, and I'm seeing the same thing. I'm stuck in that 100-foot gap, whatever. I literally turned and went to go off the trail. If I'm going north and south, now I'm gonna go west and go directly off the trail. But it was the same thing. And then I went back the other way, east. Same thing. And I could not get out of that thing. So at this point I hear people where I started on the other side of the lake, like I could hear people there now. And I can hear them talking. Just blah, 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 just talking to each other. Regular voice, maybe a little louder. They were whatever. But sounds carrying across this big ass lake. So I'm screaming and they can't hear me. And I'm getting frantic. And I'm like really panicked. And I'm like trying to figure out what the hell's wrong and what's going on. And like why they can't hear me. I'm yelling literally help and like help me, like all these like whatever I could think of, and I'm yelling louder and louder because I could still hear them just talking. I'm thinking they're ignoring me or something. So I'm screaming even louder, and I'm sure at this point I was like tearing up, and like I'm just like, you know what? Like at the edge of this scenario was the water on one side, and the ground just meets the water. There's no like, it's there's no like, oh, easier way in type thing. So I took my pack. I just dropped to my knees. I put everything. I tried clean, putting all my expensive gear, like putting it in anything I could think of, and wrapping things up. And I put my pack up as high as I could. I like tightened it real tight because I knew as soon as I hit that water, I was gonna drop like a rock. And I did. I got in. I just stepped off and bloop, went down. And as soon as I popped back up out of the water, my head broke the surface. It was like, all of a sudden, birds chirping. I hear like, trucks in the distance, planes. Everything was back. Everything was back to normal. But now I'm in like full panic mode still because I'm in this lake that I don't know about, and I'm like having like a panic attack. So I swam across this like I don't even know how far it was, maybe a half a mile or more, distance. I don't know exactly, but it took me a long time to swim across, especially how weak I was and like frantic and like, but anyway, whenever I hit that water, whatever situation I was in, it broke that cycle. Like it was, and that was a day I learned a lesson the hard way that day. But I learned about how water is like a natural barrier between certain things, and it can be a conduit for good or for bad, or hold certain things, or release them. But that's going down a whole nother path. But that was a weird experience that I didn't talk about it for a while. I really didn't. I didn't talk about it for a while because I didn't want to. I always try to put a positive spin on things for people, and I encourage people to go out and there's not, but there's those that could have been a missing 411 or whatever scenario.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
there was no creature involved. There was no cryptid involved. There was nothing. I have no idea what was involved. I just couldn't. I couldn't get away. I couldn't get out of where I was.
Yeah. And that's happened twice to us. Once and it was the same thing. The same thing. We
Yeah.
were starting almost out of there, closed out the show. We were like, okay, see y'all. Thank you. As soon as we cut the cameras off, boom, we were right back up on top of the hill. And we were like, what just happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Well, you speak about these things and then you realize other people have had experiences too. And that's when I started to talk. No matter how weird or crazy shit sounds, I just learned to just say them, because there's so many people out there that are doing the same thing. And then by you breaking your silence, you're like giving them that, oh, like, okay, like it's okay for me to say this. I'm not crazy. That wasn't like, I'm not.
right.
Because you think it's just, no, like it had to be some misunderstanding or like, whatever,
Right.
But I would never gotten that water. I don't like water where I can't see. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff.
Can't
So
see
I
the
would,
bug.
yeah. It would have took an act of Congress to get me in that water on a regular basis. But
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Well, I'm glad you're safe.
yeah,
I got to say, when that last one, when we like repeated right back to the beginning, if you watch that video, watch that. That was live, so that you can't edit or anything out.
right.
Watch that, man. That's scary. You'll see the time. Watch the time go.
The time glitches.
Yeah. The time on the video glitches. I don't know if anybody caught that, but I had to rewatch that point, and it was just weird how we were going straight, and right back to where where we took off to go in. And it was live. I mean, that's scary, man. When that happens, it really makes you think, just like yours,
It does,
It
sure.
really makes you think. It's scary. I'm sure Trapper will be back. I think his internet went out.
No.
Do you think mating season is different temperament when we encroach on their territory? Yes.
Yes, and
That's anytime.
I just got to say this there too. Seems like the evidence is they do eat, they do drink, and they do mate. I'm just going to say that. So whatever else they are, I think these things have been observed enough that we can say, well, those are done. So do they have some other aspect to them? Maybe, but I still think they do that. And everything when it comes to heck, men get violent with other men when it comes to women, and women get violent with women over that. So yes.
Yeah. And I believe, and the answer down here is that's another one of these ones that are cut down the middle, because there's two sides. But I always just say this: I wouldn't want somebody storming in my bedroom in that intimate time. So,
Yeah, you never know. it's hard to say, but I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure they have a. It seems like there's family structure and culture involved there, like that. At least to me, you know.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I wish there was I wish it wasn't so down the middle, because if the two sides came together, I believe there'd be a lot more accomplished,
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
know. And I try to work both sides, but I'm telling you, there's things that I've seen on both sides of the fence that have to make you split down the middle and go, there's some. There's no way
Mhm.
that you can just take a thermal to a tree and go, there's a face. I go to touch it and it backs away. And then it comes back, and we're not talking small trees. We're talking big trees. But then you get someone on the other side of the fence that says, man, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Use my language.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I don't. You're never gonna please everyone. It's just the way of the world, and it's just something you gotta accept it.
Right.
It's you're never gonna mend that rift. So you might as well just go with the flow and do your thing.
Right.
Well,
And it's,
when
it
you're
just is.
and you have to be open to whatever possibilities, or you're going to limit yourself from answers.
But yeah,
So,
Right.
but as far as that goes, I mean, uh, the question I'd have here is what I want is what everyone thinks, especially LIB, since you've got a lot of experience in this too. What's it going to take to just prove without a shadow of a doubt, put everything to rest? Yes, this thing exists, and it's acknowledgement everywhere, like where it ends up being in the biology books. What's it going to take?
oh, for
With you on that
it's.
one.
I mean, it's in the books. It's just not in our books. It's it's all
Right.
around the world. It's noticed.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
It is, but they still say mythological, or alleged. Um,
Well, no, well, it depends where you go.
yes, there's alleged bears
Thank you,
or
Victoria.
otters or
Yeah,
so,
no, like I mean, like in China, like the Yeren, it's like they have sections for them. Like they have a national park. Like the whole entrance is like a big statue of like the mother Yeren, like kissing the baby Yeren, and like they have like writing. They spray paint like on the side of big rocks, like where they are, and they just leave each other alone. You know what I mean? Like New Zealand's another place where like they took culture from the Sasquatch or the hairy man or whatever, and like what I found most was that I was searching a certain word, and the word Bigfoot doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't have history. The word Bigfoot doesn't have history. The word Bigfoot stops at Patty. You know what I mean? So if you search other words and different things and each culture and each indigenous tribe, and you start to find that it's all there. You just have to
right.
find it differently. But
Right.
for us, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, but what I'm saying is, I mean, you're not
Even the UFO thing, the government came out and said they're real, but what are they still? You know what I mean?
Right.
That
right. But why I would say that is, okay, that isn't going to for their budgets or for the land. That isn't going to limit anybody's land or their budget. It's going to grow. Okay, there's aliens. We need more for our defense budget. Okay, or more for studying these things. So they're there. But if they admit this is here, they're going to end up having to block off land. I think that's why they won't admit it, because there'll be land that can't be used, and it will literally stop. It'll kill, like different things with economies, with logging, with drilling, where you can put even, it's like even the green energy, where you can put that stuff because this is here. I think it's a bigger ball of wax. I think in some ways Teddy Roosevelt inventing the national parks was, in a way, trying to put some spots for them.
I do. Yeah, I agree.
And there's LIB's channel right there. Check them out.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
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 But that's why I was like, we all know this, and everyone here in this chat here, nobody's on this chat saying there's nothing out there. So, and that's what I'm saying is and it's like, we all know it's there. We all know, I really do believe our government knows it's out there at some level.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm saying, what is it going to take for them for the mask to be off of the charade? Literally, I think that's going on with that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I hate to say it, but it takes a body pretty much, and then you're never gonna get a body out of there without them catching up to you first.
Hey, they're usually not solo.
Yeah, unless you happen to be. Yeah, no, they're not solo, and then unless you're rolling with a dozen guys, they're not. They're not underestimated. They're understated. Their size is always understated, in my opinion. I don't think people understand weight. Like it's totally different. I'm 250 pounds. These guys are they're over 1,000 easy. Easy.
So
I don't think they all are, but I mean, close.
Oh yeah. Truth says you had blue glow sticks in Time Glitch video. Yeah. I was telling the Trapper that was kind of like what happened to us before we started out on Path, went to end the show, said goodbye, ended it, bam, right back at the start. How scary that was.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's when we first started.
Yeah. And I don't think it was zapped. I think it was something showing its true power, if you want to say, like what happened to you. I don't think that was like us getting zapped or, that was something that could cure us, by putting our hands in water. Something either wanted us to stay or said, well, let's see how they act when this happens.
Oh yeah. That was a wicked night when that happened.
Yeah. It was yeah, so this is our second time of that.
Mm-hmm. The first time was worse than the second, though.
Yeah, the first time, because it caught us, off guard, and we were ready to leave, and it put us back a mile.
Right. We were almost at our vehicles. We should have been at our vehicles.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't say that it would trap us somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Would that be a possibility? Could they do that with a human? Or could they just time warp us or whatever you want to say? I don't know. Yeah. It's scary. It's scary what to think. And I think everybody, you're right about the government knows something. Why are they keeping it? I think, more and more eyes are going to Bigfoot, what's going on in the forest. Now that, you say aliens now and everybody's like, yeah, seen them, done it. You say ghosts, people are like, oh yeah, we know they exist. The government now we're onto this. Now what's the government going to do when it breaks?
Well, that's because, like I said, ghosts and aliens don't require land blocked off. No loss of business revenue.
Yeah.
So why not? Go ahead, have that.
Yeah.
You know, you get down to like even the Mothman, like it's like so many people saw it. It landed on that bridge. The bridge collapsed. That whole thing is crazy, and like it's like there's a whole town, like you know, whether they're using it for revenue or not. I mean, there's still that story's still there, and
Yep.
it's like it's like what was it? What is it? You know, is it still out there? Is there multiples? Are they or is that a whole thing of its own? Like, is it attached to Thunderbirds or dinosaurs or what the hell were we looking at? And I don't know, it just all these things just fall in the cracks, even the things that get made, put into the public,
Right.
So
Laura D, how you doing? Yeah. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to fly down to the bottom here, get kind of caught up, and all right.
Yeah, for some reason I lost the internet there for a minute.
Yeah,
Oh,
glad
house
you got
got
to
shut
come
down.
back.
I think you might need some highlight time.
Maybe they're testing you,
I'm
Mid.
good. I'm good.
Yeah. And people, that happens to people. What happened to me and Trap, or what happened to you, what happened to Mid here. That happens to people, and they say it's UFOs doing it. It's aliens.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I filmed the UFO last night. Like I was sitting there, I'm watching it come in, and it looks like I'm like, oh, let me get an angle on it, like, and see if it's just something coming straight at me. If it's a headlight, so I get a side angle and I see it's not, there's no FAA lights on it, nothing's blinking. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, so I get the camera out and I start filming it, and you know, experience, I guess, tells me I have to put something else in the frame so you can tell that it's something moving, right? So I have to get like a tree in the frame, like, and or another stationary star, so you can see that it's actually something moving past, right? But this thing's so big and bright, and it's like, I mean, it's cruising at a good speed, but it's still good enough to watch for a minute. And I'm like, oh man, I'm like, maybe it's a satellite. I'm like, and then all of a sudden that thing goes, changes, direction, goes straight up, and just turns into like a little tiny nothing. And it's
Wow.
again, it's just. But if you look up, you'll see these things all the time, and whether you want to call, like most people on Long Island, they call them orbs. They just say orbs,
Yeah.
Oh, they're orbs. They're orbs over Long Island. Orange orbs, yellow orbs, white orbs, whatever. But they're not. I mean, they're whatever. However you want to categorize them, right?
Right.
But anyway, from the distance we're at, that's all it looks like. It looks like like a dot or a moving star, if you will. But
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm going to wrap it up for tonight, y'all. I want to appreciate you. I don't want to take up everybody's Friday, but thank you all. I appreciate y'all. And thank you all out in the
thank you for having me.
comment section, man. Wow. That was great questions. I hope that we gave good answers. Best of our abilities. MT, we missed you tonight.
Yeah, I'm too.
It's not the same without you.
Yeah. Do want to say stickers. I'm going to be posting the new stickers. We got to get this Wi-Fi satellite box, man. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are great questions tonight. And thank you all for answering. That was Good stuff. But it seems like we got a lot in common with what's going on over in Long Island there.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have a lot in common. So things that I think in some spots they're different. Some areas they're the same.
Yeah, there's synchronicities in certain areas, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But if y'all I'll get that together and get that posted on the Facebook group tonight. And go check out LIB. Great stuff over there. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe. I'll drop his link again. And if you don't know, if you can't click on the link, go to the cameraman YouTube page, homepage, scroll all the way to the bottom. He's right up there, and all the channels I like. Check them all out.
I don't know how you do that. I gotta figure that out.
Cool.
Trapper. Claim 3 tomorrow?
What? Huh?
Claim 3 tomorrow?
I'm out hiking tomorrow. I will
Well,
be
that's
out
tomorrow.
hiking tomorrow.
What, tomorrow night?
Oh, tomorrow night. Depending on what time I get back from my hike.
Okay. I
don't even know. I might be out at night depending on where my hike is.
Oh, yeah. Well, tomorrow night. See about Claim 3. LIB, you coming out to Claim 3 tomorrow night?
I was waiting. Not yet. Soon.
I'll send Ted has a helicopter. I'll send him over to pick you up.
All right, no problem.
I tell you, because Claim 3 is one of the places I want to go. I don't know. There may be another law enforcement officer. It's got me permission to go to a property that he says has it. So I may be doing that tomorrow. If not, then I'm going to keep in touch because Claim 3 is a place I'm dying to go.
Okay. All right. Yeah. If y'all have sightings, let us hear about them, man. With that said, I am Jack the cameraman.
I'm team
I'm Trapper.
experienced.
That's LIB up there.
Yeah, all right. Oh, we're saying goodbye. All right, bye, guys. Bye. Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. MT says, we will zap you here through the portal. All right, y'all. Thanks for being on the show, man. Y'all have a great Friday, and stay tuned for tomorrow night. Bye.